Naiwasaningaw na niba katara vakapinipinakatay bula oya wasala bilawa do patake yao mai na diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vakaromboka kako ni valatana no musini sari na kaisa mariando loloma leone vani ni nau omgori kede mai na diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vakaromboka ena Bula FM number 2 ena sere.
Bula, I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
On FBC News tonight, first consignment of Fijian tuna for European Union market to leave our shores tonight. More Fijians get access to internet services as government opens another telecenter. And 2 doctors are suspended for alleged negligence resulting in death of Lautoka woman. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade and you're watching FBC News. This year's first consignment of Fijian tuna to be exported to the European Union leaves our shores tonight. Locally owned Sequest Fiji Limited is sending a shipment of albacore. Ritika Pratap with the story.
25 tons of frozen albacore tuna will leave for Spain tonight. Sequest Fiji Limited were accredited through the Health Department with the Marine Stewardship Council certification.
Just standards, compliance, a lot of investment in the vessels and to meet the high standards of the EU.
In 2007, Fiji tuna was banned from the EU market because of unhygienic practices. However, through the MSC certification process, strict processes must now be followed. This includes having the fish at exactly the right temperature from the time it's been caught until it's processed, as well as keeping the vessel and the loading area clean and maintaining staff personal hygiene.
Many requirements in terms of whether fish is kept in the freezer, that there's no wooden exposed areas, and traditionally that was commonly used. So those are a lot of things we've had to change for the EU.
Sequest bought Celtroc Holdings Limited, a local fish processing plant, in 2012 and now employs over 200 staff. Plans are now to have Celtroc accredited as well.
That is undergoing accreditation with the local authority, competent authority, the health department, and we look forward to that accreditation, and we'll be able to further value add.
The second shipment is planned for next 2 weeks. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
More Fijians now have access to internet with the opening of another telecenter today. Students of Lomeri Secondary School in Ngaloa and members of the wider Serua community will be able to use internet services from the center, which was opened by the Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama. Chanel Sivan has more.
These students are now connected with the rest of the world. Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama says 20,000 Fijians already have access to the internet services at 11 telecenters established around the country by the government. They aim to connect more than 60,000 Fijians by the end of the year.
For every Fijian, no matter where they're from or how much money they make, deserves equal access to the benefits of technology. That's why my government is bridging the divide, the digital divide we call it, between the rich and poor, the urban and the rural.
For the students, teachers and parents, it's beyond their expectations.
It'll be a boost for people, the parents, especially the parents that we have nowadays and the children that are going through school now. It'll mean a lot because the world as it is moving on, and we are lucky. We are really lucky to have these computers here. We never dreamt of this. We never dreamt of this to be coming right to our doors.
Before we had to, especially with the project, we had to miss school just to go to Navua or Pacific Kappa to go through internet, and especially with that, you're missing a lot of schoolwork. and it's a waste of a lot of time rather than just having it at school.
The telecenter is equipped with computers and webcam facilities. Bainimarama says unlike the past, where only the wealthier had access to the digital age, but with the setup of such facilities will not only empower the Fijians, but will also put them on the information highway. Shanal Shivan, FBC News.
Two Lautoka hospital doctors have been suspended following investigations into the death of 25-year-old Noreen Sanjeshni Naidu in April this year. Naidu's family is blaming doctors for her death. She was in hospital to have her womb removed and died following complications during her operation. The Ministry of Health has confirmed the suspensions, stating that further action may be taken against the pair as investigations continue. Police are investigating the discovery of a baby's body in a plastic bag in Newtown, Nasinu this afternoon. Spokesperson Ananai Soro says officers in Valilevu made the discovery by the roadside at Mbalambala Crescent after receiving a report at midday. The baby's body is now being kept at the CWM mortuary awaiting post-mortem. The Elections Office is currently working on a system to register Fijian citizens living overseas. In a statement on its website, the office says this registration of all Fijian citizens living overseas is expected to take place this year. A total of 510,684 Fijians have registered to vote so far in next year's elections. The third phase of EVR commenced on the 3rd of this month and will run until the 29th. This third phase of voter registrations is targeting those that missed out in the first two phases. Stay with us. Coming up after the break, woman gives up all to look after disabled siblings and father.
आपकी शादी होने वाली है 5 बच्चे होंगे 5 हाय मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली रेनू सुनते रहिए मिर्ची एफएम मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today is hit music. What's up?
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. For most young girls growing up, the ultimate dream is to complete their education, get a good job, and start a family of their own. The same cannot be said for Ndisese Lewanavanua, who gave all that up to look after her disabled siblings, as well as her father and 6 sister-in-law. Vosita Kote Wasa Wasa reports.
This is Ndisese Lewanavanua, who is 45 years old and has devoted her life to looking after the needs of her family. While many women her age would be married and having children of their own, this woman lives to make life easy for the rest of her family. She looks after 4 disabled siblings, 2 men and 2 women from 31 to 55 years old. And then there is a 77-year-old father and her 6 sister-in-law.
Sentamat sana da kabutunga me edana ngae yana matagal bingara bango me lang me bana londe loma anungu ambote yango na nungulut.
Lewanavanoua's day starts at 6 a.m. and ends late. Her family's welfare comes from the monthly social welfare assistance to her father, as well as earnings from a small canteen she started with the assistance of Red Cross. Lewanavanua says it's hard to try and get her siblings to listen to her, which bothers her at times, but she is thankful for their lives. For a free-spirited and talkative person, Lewanavanua says she is not bothered by how outsiders look at her family.
Ito chicken yung kutala. Yung tukan narida yung mesona tamatamindo vale werto dodunro.
She says her faith in God strengthens her every day while she does what she loves, and that is to take care of her family's needs. Wasita Kote Wasa, FBC News.
The new cane crushing season begins in 2 weeks, starting with the Penang Mill in Raki-Raki on June 25th. The Fiji Sugar Corporation says they have delayed the start of the new season to ensure the sugarcane crop has reached maturity. The Rarawai Mill will commence operations on June 26th, followed by Lambasa a day later and Lautoka on July 2nd.
The reason why we've delayed it from mid-June to the end of June is mainly cane maturity. The actual bricks level that we normally look at is what we call a bricks of 20. We aren't reaching that 20 at the moment, but we believe we will by the end of this month.
FSC hopes to crush close to 2 million tons of cane this year. The new NGO Help a Child Fiji says death by suicide and drowning are preventable, and they aim to combat this through extensive education and awareness. Mika Longa reports.
Help a Child Fiji believes it has the capacity to prevent premeditated deaths.
Every year we find a number of children and young people dying and committing and losing their own lives at their own will. What is the reason? That can be avoided, and we'd like to get in there and save that from happening.
It also has a new approach to preventing drowning.
When a mishap happens, we panic. We aren't able to give help to the victim, and we aren't able to help him survive. So that's where our concentration is going to be. Survival skills, also the resuscitation, and how we can look at saving people from drowning. Sometimes it's carelessness that takes our life.
Help a Child Fiji wishes for nothing more than just providing children with all the necessary skills and knowledge to become independent earners. Its first task will be to carry out an extensive situation analysis of children's needs and design programs to address them.
For this, we have now taken on a oratory contest for whole of Fiji, and the Minister of Education has granted that approval. And the theme for that is climate change and the impact of climate change on development personally, nationally, and communities. So that in itself is the first step into bringing our target to the people.
The NGO says it's ready to take on the mammoth task that lies ahead and will do all it can within its power and capacity to put smiles on children's faces. Mikalonga, FBC News.
Goodman Fielder has increased its financial support for the agriculture show this year. During the signing of a memorandum of understanding on naming rights of the show, it was revealed that Goodman Fielder has increased its support to $40,000 and donated $5,000 in kind for the show. With the theme Agriculture for Fiji's Health and Wealth, organizers are optimistic of promoting agriculture as a viable career.
All is the show's underlying objective, and that is to advocate the important role agriculture plays in our lives, and especially in terms of food security, income generation, poverty alleviation, import substitution, export promotion, and economic growth and development.
The 2013 Agriculture Show will be held in Lautoka from the 3rd to the 7th of September. Now, all the talk lately is about the classic All Blacks and Flying Fijians match on Wednesday in Suva. Our man in the suit, Jamie, is here to tell us how preparations are coming along.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, I can say that excitement is high for the big game, and apparently so are ticket sales. We'll have the details after the break. Also coming up, Fiji Fact Countdown continues with some good news for fans. Stay with us for that and more.
Bula, I'm Wame. Join me every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on The Center Show with classic hits from the 70s as well as the 80s right here on Gold FM.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on Ghar Sansar, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC Sports. The men's and women's rugby sevens team to the World Cup in Moscow received a financial boost today With only 2 weeks left till the tournament, the FRU says the teams need all the support they can get. Tsalin Daudhakadaka reports.
Very proud to give you a check.
Sealed with a handshake, the Fiji Rugby Union received their check today from the Fiji Sports Commission to finance their campaign at the World Cup in Russia. The total came to a massive 330,000, and it sure is timely.
It really is a pleasure to be able to contribute to Fiji's men's and women's teams to the Rugby World Cup in Moscow this year. And we're very, very pleased to be able to contribute a sum of $333,000.
This money will go towards covering the players' airfares, accommodation, among other expenses.
We've been working very closely with them over the last few weeks to arrive at this outcome, and Peter, on behalf of the team at Rugby House, we thank you for coming in this morning to present not only this check for the men's, but also for the women's rugby sevens team. And I'll state here that this is the first time that government has come forward to assist the women's rugby.
The men's team is still in boot camp this week. Coach Alvaro Tindere will name his 12-member squad next week. Tsalendo Dakavaka, FBC Sports.
The men's 21-member Fiji Sevens team had a training run this afternoon at the Nassova Police Grounds in Suva. The team had a full contact session with a focus on reducing errors. Coach Alvaro Tindere believes he will have a hard time cutting the team down to 12 for the World Cup in Russia, and maintains that the team will do well in Moscow despite Waisele Serevi pulling out. The World Cup kicks off on June 28th, and despite not including some influential players, the coaching staff believe they have the right mix to lift the Melrose Cup for a record third time. Fiji last won the World Cup in 2005. Meanwhile, Rugby House and Fiji Sports Commission are anticipating ticket sales to bump up another notch for the much-anticipated match between the Flying Fijians and the Classic All Blacks. Organizers say the ticket sales are going well.
For the Classic All Blacks, they're going very well. Because the tickets are being sold in various locations around the country, I think Rugby Union is just collecting them back in today to have the major push in Suva. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes. I know down at the Sports Council there are still a few tickets available in the grandstand, and there are some tickets available in both the new embankment, the concrete embankment, and in the grassed area.
The match will be held this Wednesday at the ANZ Stadium at 6 p.m. and you can also catch it live on FBCTV. Meanwhile, the Fiji under-20s went down to Ireland in their second consecutive loss at the Junior World Rugby Championship in France this morning. The baby Flying Fijians were crushed 46-3. Ireland managed to cross Fiji's try line 5 times, while Fiji could only manage to score once on a penalty to Emoriwanga. Fiji plays Australia in their final pool match on Thursday. The Fiji Football Association is looking out for spectators by not raising ticket prices for the Vodafone Fiji Fact. The tournament, which gets underway in Suva on Saturday, will feature the top 8 teams in the country. However, as Indra Singh reports, the real winners at the end of the day will be the fans.
Fans are the top priority for Fiji football as the countdown for the first tournament of the year enters the final band. Despite having to fork out more than before to hire the venues, Fiji FA says its tournaments are for the spectators to enjoy.
We are here for the development of sports. So we don't want to, rake in millions of dollars from people, which we know the plight of people right now with a lot of sufferings people have gone through and all those things. We want to organize a tournament and keep it reasonable for the fans to come and enjoy, relieve their tensions, enjoy with the family, and have a good outing and for a good game of football.
Suva will defend its title starting at home this weekend before moving to Nandi. And Patel says the level of competition shown during the National League is a preview of what's to come within the next fortnight.
This is something that is positive for everyone. And a lot of hype is created for the Vodafone Fiji Fact, and especially at the ANZ Stadium. And we're looking forward for a very exciting time and a very high-intensity matches between districts, as only 8 districts are participating with 90 minutes of football. And you cannot take any districts lightly. All of them are really playing in a very high level at the National League right now. and no districts can be taken out lightly.
Teams will wrap up their preparations by Thursday before the battle at the ANZ Stadium begins on Saturday. There are already challenges ahead of teams as they need to prepare accordingly to outdo each other for the first major of the year. Interesting, FBC Sports.
That's your Monday Night Sports. Good evening.
Fiji is experiencing a growth in economic activities. The Ministry of Finance says this is driven by consumer spending. However, there needs to be a balance. People should be able to save a portion of their surplus funds. Akosita Tale reports.
When it comes to the financial market, consumers have limited options available. Apart from fixed savings, deposits and shares in the market, Fiji needs to have innovative savings products if we are to call ourselves a developed financial system.
Not only do we need financial introduction of financial products into the market that will give customers more choices, but also the introduction of financial services that can meet the demands of businesses, of individuals.
There will always be rainy days ahead, and it's good people prepare themselves by saving. This will contribute to generating revenue within the financial institutions.
As they save as well, the banks or institutions like HFC will be able to, they are the conduit, they take surplus funds and are able to give it to those who need funds in order to make investments.
Wangambada adds banks should see the demand in the market and see the financial products in existence in international markets. This can be customized and introduced in Fiji so our people can have a variety of choices available to save their surplus funds. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
We're welcoming the lovely weather girl now. How's things looking, Jen?
Why, thank you, Jackie. It's nice to be back after a wonderful weekend. From my point of view, today's weather was quite impressive. Didn't seem to be a drop of rain anywhere. Not that rain is a bad thing, but it wouldn't do Suva any harm to get a little. We had fine conditions throughout the day with only a touch of cloudiness in Savu-Savu, Lambasa, and the capital. Things look fairly normal on our chart today. Suva, Nandi, and Ba were on 29 degrees, while Lambasa played leader on 30. If tomorrow's weather is anything to go by, the classic All Blacks and the Flying Fijians will have one heck of a game. It's going to be another case of nice and sunny with just a bit of cloudy thrown in. And I wrap things up with a photo of a dam in Navua. Pinaka Hirdesh, I really felt a sense of peace looking at this. Time to go now. You take care and join me again tomorrow.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. And before we leave, just a recap of our top stories today. Police investigate discovery of baby's body in a plastic bag in Newtown, Nasinu this afternoon. First consignment of Fijian tuna for European Union market to leave our shores tonight. More Fijians get access to internet services as government opens another telecenter. And 2 doctors are suspended for alleged negligence resulting in death of Lautoka woman. Now onto the results of last week's poll question. We asked, can Fiji win the Pacific Nations Cup? 63% said yes. On to this week's question, and we're asking, should we have a national ID card? Visit www.fbc.com.fj to have your say. Remember, you can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's FBC News for tonight. See you again tomorrow.
Nimbula, methango nimilote na isoro tambua. Nama kia umena rua kina ona na veka vi moniti kina wakarambuka. Rongo mena via sana kina vibaga barota kini ndreko malolo. Ena Radio Fiji 1 na wongani pioniano. Ngai nama kia kina.
Ni sambulo binaka oya wone kamanalangi oni nandorungo diao mai na diwa kina rua na bisinga mai na moniti kina bagarumbuka na Radio Fiji wana ndoma ibiti bongani bianyanu nama katalengana benga na sasi biani na tinna kaloka na bembongi ni bukilulu kena bima mani walu na bembongi ni bakarawai mai na mbuza ni balu ni ngai namaka